Hi, welcome back. I'm Claire Cousins, one of the organisers for the Textiles East Fair, and as you know we've been doing some videos as a virtual fair, and I've maintained a few just as a bit extra because I've enjoyed making them. But we have some, I say but, I don't know why it's a but, we have good news, and the good news is we are starting to reorganise the Textile East Fair. That will be happening live actually in Swavesey Village College in Cambridgeshire. It's just off the A14, and the dates for that, so you might want to write it in your diary, the dates for that is Friday the 18th of February 2022 to Saturday the 19th of February 2022, and £7 on the door. And it's well worth it. We have one large hall, we have an exhibition hall, we have 2 conference classrooms, and we have the full catering facilities of the school, and we have the big main corridor. So there's lots and lots to see and do. There's make and take, but do check out the website, and I'll put the website link below. So that's exciting good news. Now, because we've got that, I've got to think about the advertising side of it. I always do an advertising leaflet with a piece of artwork at the top. So I've actually started the piece of artwork for this year. I thought you might like to have a quick look. So come to my desk and see what I'm up to. Okay, so far I've been making this piece of fabric, and what it is, those of you who have not come across one before, this is an embellishing machine, a needle felting machine. It's got barbed needles all here. I think mine holds 5 or 6, and it pushes fibres, threads, yarns, etc. into the fabric. So what I've done is I've cut loads of little pieces like this of different fabrics. I've got sorts of different cottons in there. I've got some bit of bling to go on there, and I'm just going to pop that little bit just there just to show you. It's very simple. It just goes under the machine like that. Let me just zoom in a bit closer for you. And then when I press the pedal, sorry, the light's a bit glaring. When I press the pedal, as the needles go down, like that, it just mashes it in. Just mashes it in. So I've built up my layers and created this textural base. It's not permanent, you can pull these off quite easily. So what I'm going to then do is I'm then going to add some slow stitching, some hand embroidery, some beads, and that'll be a lovely surface to photograph, and eventually you'll see it on the leaflet advertising and on the website, all helping to advertise the fair. Hi, this is a piece of fabric I machine embellished earlier, and I'm looking to add some embroidery to it. I've had a rummage in my thread box and I found some rather yummy threads that I think I might stitch on. I'll just show you what I've got here. I've got some 6-stranded with a bit of metallic. I've got some rayon. I've got some Steph Francis. It's a textured mixed yarn. They all go rather beautifully. I've got this is a rayon, 6-stranded rayon. This looks, I'm not entirely sure if that's a Sandra Beach or not, but that looks like it could be. This is a Chanel from Just Threads, and that's very beautiful textural, another metallic. So I've got a nice selection of threads going on, and then I thought, oh, what beads can I have? And I hate to say this, but I think I'm a bit of a bead hoarder because this is my beads. I think something like that would go nice. I don't know whether to put bigger beads on that contrast or not. They might be too big. But I've also got some, what else have I got? A nice selection of beads in there that I might use. I've got some really rather yummy, some square beads that I picked up from somewhere. I've also got a nice mix of that sort of bead. I quite like those. Long beads. I want some contrast. I might even put a bit of lime on there. Might be quite nice. I'm not always sure where I pick my beads up, but that looks like sort of shell. That could be nice. I got a funny feeling I'm going to end up with a bit of a mixed bag. I'll talk about mixed bags. There is a mixed bag of beads, so any of these combinations will work beautifully. So I'm going to crack on with this and I'll come back in a bit. Right, so I've been now considering my types of stitches that I might incorporate. This is a piece I've already done on the nano felting, and you've seen this video if you've been watching the series. I'm looking at this, I've got some French knots. I quite like that. I like the scattered daisy. I like the cross stitches, and I think because this is quite an organic looking surface, I think I might treat it in a very similar way. Yeah, this hasn't got many beads on it. It's only got a few in amongst there. In fact, I might mix some more bullion, perhaps even pistol stitches. I might even, don't know, I might experiment a bit more and use a blanket stitch in a more creative way. Let's see. Right, first things first, I need a needle. Okay, what I think I will do is, I do love this. I'm going to couch this on, and I've not done couching on any of my videos yet. I've done couching, don't get me wrong, but I've just not shown you how to do it. So I'm just going to get some thread. Oh, this is so gorgeous. This is really lovely thread. I don't know if you can see, that's going to, oh, that will look really beautifully organic. I actually quite like it flowing around randomly like that. Really like that. Just got to find the end. So I'll pop that on there like that in an organic way, and I'm just going to couch it, as I said, so it's just a case of stitching over it. I'm tempted to use these, but sometimes when you're middle couching you don't want it snagging, so you are probably better off with a regular sort of sewing thread like this. This is just a Gutermann. I'm just going to try and find a better needle. I got a needle, and I don't know if anybody else suffers from this, but I don't know how I manage it, but I bend my needles so quickly. And it's not like they're not a good quality needle. Right, because this is what I would consider a meditative piece, again it's never planned, and I just go where I fancy going. So I'm just couching, so I'll come up and I'm just stitching over, and then I'm coming up a little way, about 4 centimetres or so, coming up again. It's just sewing over it, coming up again, comfortable stitches. I've got no idea where I'm going, it's just where I fancy going. And that is adding some really nice texture. Now what I might do, there's a ball patch there, so I could use that to actually cover it. So I don't know if you can see that, it's quite subtle. I actually do like subtle, and as I say, it just gives that, I don't know if you can see if I put it on this side, a bit of an unusual surface texture. And I'm going to wiggle my way around with this until I'm happy with that. So I'll continue to do that and I'll come back in a bit. Right, I don't know if you can see where this thread has gone, but I've put some thread through here, it's coming round here. I've put some of this here through here, down here, and then there's some coming through here. So it kind of just meanders aimlessly around really. So I've done that, and now what I'm going to do is think about what sort of stitching I like. I'm looking at these threads and I quite like the direction in which, I don't know if you can see where I am, but there's where the fibres have got the warp and the weft hasn't been destroyed, it's almost opened them up and released them a bit. I quite like that, and I'm quite tempted to do some additional stitching along there. Question is with what? Or do I add some more of this sort of chenille from this collection, a different collection? It's a darker chenille. That's quite tempting. Or do I use a silk cord? Now that, if you can ruche this up, that's tempting to ruche this up. Right, okay, so this is it's almost like a hollow ribbon, and if you're lucky you can open up the end like that, and if you're gentle with the blunt end of your needle, best to use a bodkin really, because as you can see I've got a funny feeling, oh no, I'll be alright. If you just gently, as I say, it's like a tube, you can see, you can gather it, and then when you sew it down it has a really unusual look. So you do need to make sure you cut enough to gather. Oops. So you are better off using a bodkin. I've got just a very thick needle. Now I'm not entirely sure that this technique has a name, but it was shared to me by a lovely lady called Sandra Beach, who dyes this type of yarn. I mean, this is a Steph Francis one, but Sandra Beach also dyes this sort of hollow ribbony yarn. As I said, I don't know if it's got a name. Oh. It's a nice silky finish to it. I suspect it's made of rayon. Okay, so as you can see, I've now got like a ruched up looking caterpillar, and you can place it where you want it to go, and then either unsquish it a bit because it's a bit too gathered. I want it to fit in this gap here. Don't know if you can see that. It's blending in a bit too well. I will perhaps use it there instead. That's quite nice there actually. So I'm going to finish pulling that up. Did I put a knot in the end? No, I didn't. Let's put a knot in the end. And because I caught the end, fingers crossed, I won't pull it too tight just in case. You can have it very gathered in one bit. Go it fairly smooth in another. It's up to you. Play around with it. As I say, I think I'm going to go for it just there. And then it's a bit like how we did earlier. You just couch it down where you want it to go. Moving along every now and again. Now you might want to create more ripples by pushing it up. I don't know, you might. I'd recommend having a play with this stuff. Doesn't need tons of stitching. I don't want to flatten it too much. So I don't know if you can see, if I just tilt it a little bit, you can see the 3D quality of it. And if you feel it, it feels great. So that's how to use the hollow ribbony yarn stuff. Very technical. What I think I might do is add another piece through here and add a bit through there, like threes. It might be like I actually might do a little triangle almost, and then a little bit there. That sounds nice. I'll come back and show you in a minute. I've finished adding the tubed ribbony stuff, and you can see I've actually done like a nice little circle there. So if you get some different colours, you could do really nice sort of like little clusters of flowers with it. You can be quite versatile. As I said, the textures are just added to the piece. So I don't know if I flip it that way, you can see the textures. So now I'm thinking, it's all blending in a little bit too much. Do I need a contrast? So that's too close. That works. Again, that's too close. I like the yellow. Might be that I find some yellow. Got some rayon. I'm not sure if I want stitching, whether I just want beads. No, I do need stitching, because without stitching it won't work. So the question is, what threads are going to work? I say I think these are too close. I might try it. I'll try it. So when you've got to think carefully about what threads you're using, because as I say, you could lose the whole look as the thread colours are far too close. Okay, I'm going to give them, I think I'm going to do some crosses just here. See how these look. So I'm just going to do various, sort of like a hatching type stitch. So I'm going to come up, I'm just going to randomly come up somewhere else. Again, no plan to it. Come back down, cross hatch, go here, and you'll notice I'm just overlaying them as well. That all adds to the texture and the look. Might come out this way a bit, might go up. That is so subtle you can barely see it. Don't know what you think. Yeah, I think it looks okay actually, because it's matte. It's yeah, sometimes you need to have a contrast between matte and shiny. I quite like the matte texture, but hang on, I'm going to go back on that one because I think I've got enough. You've got to know when to stop, so I'm stopping that. I'm going to do some more cross hatching elsewhere on the piece, and I'll come back in a bit. Hi, I've added a few more stitches here and here. I've now got distracted by my beads. So these are the beads that I bought from the African fabric shop that come to the fair, and I don't know what they're made of, but it feels a bit like a ceramic or yeah, stone of some sort. They're beautiful, and I just love the way that they sit nice and flat and ring-like. I think I'm going to have to do some stitches over them to hold them down. I don't think I can use the single bead method as if it's a sequin, so I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll come back when I've sewn them on. Welcome back. I think I've got to the stage where I think I've done enough stitching. I popped these lovely beads on using just a very simple anchor stitch just to hold them down. I did add some, I call it a buttonhole stitch. I sew a loop and then I do like a buttonhole stitch just to form. I didn't do many of those, but yeah, I think that might do for our new colour brand this year. So I hope you've enjoyed just seeing a little bit more fanciful stitching and being creative, and I hope you get the opportunity to come and visit us, because we're really excited that we're going to actually see people again for the Textiles East Fair. As I said, it was the 18th and the 19th of February 2022 at Swavesey Village College. I hope you get a chance to come and visit us in Cambridgeshire if you're local. If you're abroad, keep watching the YouTube videos, subscribe, it is free, and look forward to catching up with you again soon. Bye bye for now.